welcome back to Joy News Prime. It's time for Joy News Interactive, and the lovely Aisha Ibrahim is here with me.
Hello.
Always good to see you, Aisha.
Good to see you too, Irva. And you know what's good? The good news is that it's a Friday, and you know how we do it on Fridays. But you know how to join this conversation is on facebook.com/Joy News on TV, and on Twitter is on Joy News. Now, many of those who have kicked against students' use of mobile phones in schools, explaining it will be a distraction to their studies. But contrary to this assertion, Deputy Education Minister Dr. Yaosei Educhum says the use of mobile phones will be reasonable for schools that lack ICT facilities, adding such students must be allowed to use it. The minister explains the move is necessary since the internet has become the basic tool for research. Now, I want you to share with me what you think of students using phones in school.
Actually, the idea is not good because it will be a distraction to the students. Instead of them using their phones to learn, it might be used for other reasons which won't help in their education. So I don't agree with the idea at all.
I don't agree with him at all.
Why?
He's trying to escape the problem. He should be thinking of creating an ICT forum for the students here, rather than just making them use their phone. The cell phone can be very, very distracting. So I'm an IT student here in Ghana. I came from Nigeria to study information technology here. And telling us to use our phones instead of normal ICT equipment that we can use to better ourselves is not encouraging at all. It's going to make the country look like they are abandoning this computer life that's coming there. He's trying to abandon it rather than push Ghana towards that place.
I don't believe that, because the children use the mobile phone for so many things. You tell them to use it to learn, but you see them using it for something else. You know, they can browse on pornographic websites and so many things. So I don't think it will be right for the children to use the mobile phone in schools.
The time that we need to learn a lot in terms of technology, okay? I don't think it's a bad thing that they should allow them to use mobile phone, because we are learning. If you look at the Europeans like this, I mean, they have advanced if it comes to technology, okay? So if you are saying students shouldn't use phone, where are you going? Are you trying to push them away from technology? Are you trying to put them away from learning? You understand me? So we are in a new era whereby students have to know a lot, okay? So I think I support him 100%.
All right, so let's check what you've been saying on Facebook.
Okay, Kweku Michael says, I agree, mobile phones are mini computers and it should be allowed to be used in schools, but with great supervision from the teachers to check they don't use it to watch pornographic materials from the internet. I think the government should provide free Wi-Fi in all schools so that they can monitor, block social media and non-educational sites. And Lukman Abdul Kadir says, ICT is not all about accessing the internet, but also very important and lucrative fields like computer programming or coding. Mobile phones can only help the students connect to the internet, and that is not necessarily ICT. Nana Dija Malik writes, in this world, everything has advantages and disadvantages. Why can't government provide computers to those schools? Phones with internet will make them view things which are not good for them. Minister of Education, you better sit up and provide students with their necessary tools to learn. The phone is not the best option for them to use in school.
And Elias Apasia says, I think very soon students will be allowed to use phones in the examination hall. Really? I know they would be allowed to receive and make calls during lessons. Sometimes some leaders speak without thinking. Oh, that's a bit harsh. Speak like why can't you provide those facilities in the schools instead of saying students should use mobile phones? And those are some comments on Facebook. Also, residents of Busua, a community in the Hunter West district of the Western region, woke up to odd news that they've been eating cassava grown in the cemetery. Strange, right? Apparently, the farmer has been farming at the cemetery for several years. Now, the Queen Mother for the area even confirmed that the farmer and his family have made the cemetery their home and have been farming there for over a decade. She says several efforts to move the family from the cemetery has proved futile. Well, question, what would you do if you found out that your favorite vegetables and crops come from unorthodox places?
I will not buy it again. I will not even go and buy it because it's not good. It's not good for my health, so I will not buy it.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Why?
Because even the dead body, it is used to for manure. So we need manure to grow plants, and then we use manure to grow the fruits and cassava that you are talking about. So I don't see anything wrong with it.
It's better we stop eating them, we stop buying them. Because, you know, from those sources, it means they can give us a lot of disease and other things. I will stop buying from those sites. Because if I buy from it, if I eat those vegetables, I will fall sick. So I will not buy it. But if I don't know that, I will buy.
I think it's not good. Once the crops are planted around the cemetery or even at the premises of the cemetery, it's not good for human consumption.
Why?
Why? Because when the body is decayed, you know, it produces so many things, which is not good for the human body. So I don't think it's wholesome for that. Yeah.
Well, interesting comments from the streets. Well, I won't ask her, but I wanted to find out from her. But let's check what you've been saying on Facebook.
Well, no comments personally, but Wellington Achichobi says, like GMO foods and vegetables, I have now moved to tree foods and drink fragmented coconut water and special species tea. Well, Adnan Al-Hassan Jambedu writes, where is unorthodox sauce? Do you mean unwholesome sauce? In that case, I'll simply stop eating such specific food. That apart, I'd probably sue the crop or vegetable producer for damages. Sued in Ghana here. That's a long process, I wish you will. Barry Makubaji from Jinjini writes, I would do nothing. I would chop well and leave the rest to history. I the hunger, what do I care, knowing where the vegetable that got me the nice stew came from. So he doesn't really care. Samuel Amaya writes, what will you do?
Because we're dairy.
But just advise yourself and the sellers, and if they fly into terror, collapse their business like UT and Capital Banks. Kesa Clement says, from Papa Ni Phones, Sheffield also. Nice question though, but what do you think I can also do? Well, you're asking us the question. There's virtually nothing I can do than to ask the Almighty God for protection. In fact, most of the food items are from unorthodox places. God is our savior.
And Destiny in Krabia says, oh, but since the year 2000, only God knows what we have been eating. So whether it's an orthodox or unorthodox, it doesn't matter anymore. All they are doing is killing us off one by one for money's sake, really. Baye Jeremiah says, I will seal the suppliers of those crops. My appetite for that food will vanish in no time. And Philip Ahuma says, I will continue to take it because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Okay, continue. And finally, a study has shown that bad behavior in the workplace is contagious. Well, in other words, you might be influenced positively or negatively by a person's behavior when you sit next to him or her at the workplace. The study, conducted by an assistant professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology's Sloan School of Management, adds that sitting next to high achievers at work increases your performance from 3% to 16%. Question, do you agree with this study, and what is your personal experience?
Do agree. I currently work with a school where I find myself working with this gentleman. He happens to be the headmaster of the school, and he's a very modest person, very hardworking and zealous about whatever he does. So due to these traits or qualities that I find in him, I'm influenced. Since he is the leader,
leaders have the ability to influence their subjects. One way or the other, I find myself also being zealous anytime he's around and makes my working very smooth.
I believe that.
Can you share your experience?
The one that I'm working with now, she's, let's say, a Christian-like kind of person. So every time she shows me the Christian life to lead. So she has actually impacted my life, changed my life.
Okay, so that
that is the positive aspect that I know. Negative, sometimes, let's say, her attitude sometimes will also influence you.
Yeah, I think I agree with the study.
Okay, so can you share your experience?
Yeah, so when I was in the university, most of the things I learned from my roommates. Basically, their social behaviors, the way they go about their relationships with their friends, their classmates, and their relatives. Through my associations with my classmates, my roommates, my friends, those I always meet on campus. So I personally agree with the study that says that once you work with someone or you are with the person for some time, you tend to pick some traits or characteristics from them.
And Arba, this one goes to you. What do you make? What's your own experience?
Well, it's quite debatable, and I'm sure a lot of people too, will agree with me. It's quite debatable. I really can't tell.
All right, so a lot of messages are on Facebook. Let's check it out.
Well, okay, and like myself, Adan Al-Hassan Jambidi says, it's quite debatable. Will you become rich if you sit around rich people? Whereas you can be motivated by high achievers. It's not entirely true that you can achieve as much as postulated by the research team. He spoke my mind. Now, Prosper Pateri writes, it can be true in a way. Why I'm saying this is because some people are like rock soaked in water. No matter how chill the water is, they will never increase in size. And if you meet such people from Africa and you think you're an achiever, you work like a donkey. Judicious Odro Eric says that the study is a perfect one to me. It really works at various working places. The way they do their things automatically attracts you to learn more. Berima Kubaji from Jinjini says, I have absolutely no evidence to prove this because in the staff common room where I sit all the time, the next teacher to me teaches economics while I teach geography. So I wonder how that would boost my performance in teaching. I think this applies to the corporate world and not those of us under the National Teaching Council. # forgive my mischief. Yes, you're being mischievous there.
And Fred Mensanyaku says, yes, I agree. People close to me at work have improved a lot in a matter of months, really. And Koma Enchiboy says, I agree. Intelligence is contagious. We learn a lot from our friends through the various forms of socialization. And Philip Ahuma says, how possible? Do we have psychological transfer now? If you say they will get the chance to copy them, yeah, I agree. Ransford Kani Atta Bedu says, I think so, because the person next to you can influence you by his or her score marks. Sharif Dean Alidu says, you get to learn things you don't know, and with time you become like him or her, so I agree with them. Natoma Harun says, this can only be possible in Africa during exams. I'm talking about stretching necks and stuff like that. And Divine Jakpa says, true, same way if you have 9 poor people as your friends, you will soon be number 10. Do not underestimate the power of influence. Well, those are interesting comments on Facebook. I have my own ideas though, or my own view about this whole thing, but then I think in a way the study tends to speak about the things that happen at workplaces. Let's